Welcome back to the neighborhood, boys and girls. Tonight, our first guest is Rachel Pinho from Keller Williams, Moorestown.
Hi.
Welcome to the
Thanks
neighborhood,
for
Rachel.
having me.
Awesome to have you here. We'd like to get into the stuff that separates you from a realtor. I told you the joke. I say the same joke every time. No one really raises their hand in second grade and says, I want to be a realtor.
That's for sure.
So we like to talk about your journey and what kind of brought you the pre-realtor, Rachel. What brought you here and how you got to the real estate world. So tell us a little bit about that.
So, my first job right out of high school was in sales. It was retail sales. And then I've kind of just from there had a lot of office jobs, but it wasn't until probably 2018 where I was like, okay, I think real estate's what I want to do. I got a job working in property management, so that's kind of what started my whole journey into real estate. So I worked in property management for a couple years. I did leasing, resident management, and then I was in new home construction. So I did a little bit of interior design sales consulting, so I loved that.
That's a little different.
Yeah, definitely. But, you know, it all kind of is interconnected, and I think my passion was really just connecting with clients and being able to, you know, make their dreams come true. So that's kind of really what brought me into real estate.
Nice. My ex-wife went to school for interior design, and now she's a realtor. And she said it was kind of the same thing. Like when you're doing interior design, you have to make a mental picture of the room people are painting, and you do the same thing as a realtor. You make a mental picture of the home that they're describing to you as their perfect home.
Exactly. Every home kind of tells its own story. So being able to you know, walk into someone's home and see what story they've been living, and being able to kind of translate that into, you know, someone else's home. It's very fulfilling for sure.
Do you have trouble kind of keeping your opinion to yourself when you walk into people's homes and you see how horrible the decor is, and you're like, oh God, this is horrible?
Yes and no. I mean, I definitely share my opinion when it's asked. And you know, with little things like home improvement and whatever can kind of help their house sell, even if it's just something as little as, you know, changing hardware, you know, depersonalizing a house, things like that. So, you know, I always ask what they're looking for, what they're willing to do to the house to sell it. So there's a fine line.
Now, on the listing agent side, that tends to be probably where that would come in a little bit more, because you can go in and give them tips like what the normal shopper wants to see in a home, whether it's declutter or things like that. Now, do you recommend, if you have a client where the house looks a little dated, do you recommend they do silly things, not silly things, but minor things like paint or anything, or do you want to just, okay, fine, the new buyers are probably going to paint anyway, so leave it like it is?
Yeah, I think every situation is different, so how I go into it is always asking, you know, what's your goal? What's your goal? Is it to sell the house quick? Is it to try to make as much profit as you can? Because with that, it's kind of, you know, depending on if it is something as little as painting or just decluttering or, you know, moving things around, whatever they're willing to do to their house, I always kind of just offer my advice that way. If they want to try to get, you know, as much action on the house as possible, if they want buyers to kind of come in and just be like, wow, then yeah, you know, I'll offer some updates. And there's other programs out there too that, you know, I offer where someone will come in and maybe update the home for them. And so there's all different things. I kind of just work with whatever my clients' needs are and what their goals are.
Have you ever sold a vacant home? Have you ever sold a home, like either a flip where it had been, you know, vacated and it was redone, or?
Yes. So I actually flipped a home myself.
Yourself?
Yeah.
All right,
so,
like you actually laid the flooring and you did all the painting?
No,
or
so I didn't do
you
that.
just ran the job.
I did a little bit of the demo. So most of my skill came in with just picking what goes where. You know, what's kind of timeless, what's trending, things like that. But going into the house, that's just completely destroyed. You know, just not so pretty looking, and just going in and making it beautiful and making it someone else's home. I think that's definitely, I love doing that too. I was able to use my design skills and real estate, so.
Now, did you stage the
home? Not really. We did not. It was a small home. It was 1 bed, 1 bath, 480 square feet. So wasn't much, but
Yeah, that's
a little
awesome.
bit of things, plants in there.
Now, do you tend to gravitate more towards buyers or more towards listings, or is it just kind of you work on your sphere of influence or whatever comes your way?
Yeah, and I mean, I think I would start there, but definitely gravitate more towards listings.
Okay.
When I first started real estate, I thought, I would love being a buyer's agent, and I do. I love working with my buyers, but there's just something about selling the house and, preparing the homeowners to sell it, and then their journey from that into a new house. I love the listing side of it.
Yeah. I guess from an interior design background type, that would be more of a selling agent than a listing. Yeah, it's tough because when you talk to people, I always thought before I really got the first 15 years I did mortgages, it was mostly refinances, it wasn't really purchases. So when I first started talking to agents and they were like, "Yeah, I'm primarily a listing agent," I'm like, "What do you mean?" Don't you do everything? I didn't understand when they said it, but now after talking to agents and getting to know them, I'm like, oh, that's why you're a buyer's agent, or oh, that's why you're a listing agent.
Yeah, it's definitely like a get in where you fit in kind of industry. And I think for me, I started, I got my license in 2020, the middle of the pandemic. So everything I thought I knew about real estate just wasn't that. so having to adapt to kind of the new shift in society, in the market, in the business, definitely opened my eyes and made me, I think, feel differently about the industry.
Okay. Did you do any virtual open houses during COVID? Did you do any you can't come here, but here's the really cool pictures of everything?
No, I did not. So actually when I got my license, I was still working in property management, and then I had moved on to new home construction. So I was in design, so I wasn't really practicing. I was just learning.
Right.
And then recently this year in January is when I quit my full-time job, took that leap. So I've been in it since, and I've been blessed. A lot of my listing sides, I've also found the buyer, so I was able to kind of be that dual agent.
Cool. Now, what about the industry excites you? It can't all be it's a job, it's money. What about the task warms your heart or drives you mentally as an individual?
So I think for me, a lot of it has to do with the lifestyle of being a realtor. I'm kind of an all or nothing kind of person. So with my jobs in the past, it was putting all into, someone else's business. So being able to put all of myself into my own business, and really have that lifestyle of personal development, still constantly learning, and then being able to help people, still kind of use my sales skills. It's like wearing all of the hats in one role. Also the marketing, I'm very creative, so I love that aspect, and I'm able to use that as well.
Sure.
So really just wearing all the different hats and
cool.
Being able to do it all.
So you're probably, I'm in the older generation, you're in the younger generation.
Yes.
What, you don't have to say yes, that excited me. Come on now, come on.
No, age is just a number.
What types of social media do you use? Are you a TikTok, Snapchat person, or is it still Instagram
It
and a little bit of Facebook?
Instagram and Facebook. I've tried to make that bridge to TikTok, but I think right now, as a millennial, I think a lot of people my age are still even trying to find out how they can buy a home. So I think with the TikTok generation, I haven't dabbled in that yet, but I think it will come. Yeah. But yeah, right now it's just Instagram, Facebook, and being able to kind of educate everyone my age. You might be able to buy a house even if you don't even think you're ready.
Right. I do tend to look at TikTok. I look at things. I look at whatever conspiracy theory stuff and all that stuff. But I still, as much of a marketer as I am, I still don't understand exactly how to monetize TikTok, because it's so random with the feed, and it's not Facebook. I know who my friends are going to be. I know who my people are going to be. I know when I post it, I can go in and manipulate the algorithm for Facebook, but that's for my friend circle. With TikTok, I'm like, well, why does someone in Yucca, Arizona care if I do mortgages? Or even if I put out a really great mortgage video, if they're not in South Jersey, they're not really going to...
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, more as much just building your presence of who you are and, getting that following. But for me, it's not about the following. It's about, my followers who are already there and just educating them making sure I'm putting out content that's going to help them, educate themselves. And I mean, I just bought my first house last year, so, and even, still being in the industry, I'm like, I don't think I'm ready to buy a house. I don't think, like, financially I'm prepared, but it was, all just kind of in my head, psyching myself out, because once, we went into it, went through the process, it was actually my first sale was my own house.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, being able to just like learn as I go and experiencing it from both ends, it's a very emotional process. So I think also being able to relate with my clients that way is, again, fulfilling.
Nice. Now, it's not as bad as it used to be, but real estate still tends to be more of a male-dominated business. As a younger female, do you find challenges of either being taken seriously or feeling, do you sometimes hang up the phone and think, I think that dude was talking down to me kind of thing?
Yeah, it definitely happens, but it's kind of something, I'm a very kill 'em with kindness kind of person, so I think that is very eye-opening for them, and they end up, kind of appreciating it, and it's just, another fulfilling thing to do is just being able to prove someone wrong and show them what I got.
What's the most homes that you have showed a prospective buyer?
Probably too many to count.
Yeah.
Couldn't put a number on it.
I've had a couple experiences. My ex-wife is like really cool, like hippie, really help the world, peace, love, and happiness. And she's had a couple clients where she showed like 65 homes. I'm like, but if you're really like into that, helping people and like, I understand the picture that they painted and we're just not finding what they painted. I'm like, man, I'm gonna show them 10 and tell them pick one of the 10 that they like.
I think for me it's really about like just knowing my client, learning them what their needs are versus their wants, and kind of just being able to reel them in if they're going, just off of track of what they need, and just being able to kind of give them a reality check when they need it. I think that's a lot of something about the industry a lot of people struggle with, is being able to kind of tell people a harsh reality in a sense, doing it with wrapping it with a bow.
Right. Yeah.
So I think for me, my clients kind of respect that, and I think it's just gaining that respect with your clients too, to be able to have that relationship where you can kind of be like, well, you said you wanted closet space. This has no closet space.
Right.
So what are we gonna do here?
Right. Cool. All right. So now we talked pre. Now we're going to talk post. We're going to talk 2 years from now, circling around October of 2024. Give me a couple of goals that you're going to accomplish, a couple of things you're going to check off your list on your vision board. Where's Rachel going to be in 2024?
So I think for me, really just building up my portfolio with flips. I really enjoy that. So kind of being able to do that a little bit more. But then also just, servicing clients and just building up my database to where it's, organically getting referrals and just able to help more clients, because I think that's also what just gives me the passion, not just the design, but really just, making their dreams come true and making them happy. I think for me, I came from an unstable environment, so being able to just, my dream was always just have a home of my own.
Right.
I always say home is where the heart is. It's something I've always dreamed about since I was, little. So being able to help other people achieve that too is very fulfilling. So that's
awesome.
all I want to do.
Now, what about, do you see yourself in the future mentoring younger salespeople, team leader kind of thing, or is that not up your alley?
I think at this point I'm still figuring it out, but I definitely consider myself more of a leadership role. So being able to kind of bring other agents on and help them grow and all work together. So
nice. All right, now we're going to go to your final question, your personal question.
Yeah.
You want music or personal? Which one?
I guess music.
Music, all right. So you can pick any artist, any band, anything. Can be from the 60s, can be from the 90s, can be current right now. Someone's going to come to your house and play 2 songs.
Oh gosh.
Who's the person and what 2 songs do you want to hear?
Oh gosh. So I think for me, I'm into dance music.
Okay.
So it's gonna have to be a DJ.
Okay.
Probably somebody nobody really knows.
Like EDM kind of dance? Okay.
So I would have to say, Tiesto.
Tiesto?
Yeah.
Well,
Tiesto.
people know that.
Yeah,
Come on, people
yeah.
know Tiesto.
No,
Okay.
He's got to come.
Okay. And what do they call them songs when they do that, or
they
tracks,
mix,
whatever
they mix
mixes?
songs.
All right. So which two songs you want to hear?
Honestly, I couldn't answer.
You don't even
that.
care.
There's
Okay.
Too many.
2 songs
There's
from Tiesto,
too
though.
many.
All right. Awesome. Rachel, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. Now you got me thinking
Great
about
time.
that question. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. We'll be right back with the next guest in Mr. Mortgage's neighborhood.